Grewcock here, and I just wanted to briefly touch upon what we're going to be doing in maths throughout summer 2. So, in maths, we're going to be looking at highlighting the 4 main operations in preparation of our learning in Year 6. We have multiplication, division, subtraction, and addition. We're primarily going to be focusing on long division, as this is a key element in the SATs papers next year. We'll go into that in a bit more detail in a moment. We're also going to be taking a look at what is known as BODMAS, which is brackets, order, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. For now, I just want to show you a brief example of long division. So here, I've got 7,248 divided by 16. On the side here, we have got what is known as our key fact chart, or KFC. Here, I've written down 3 multiplications of 16 that I want us to remember. So we first have 16 multiplied by 2, which is 32, 16 multiplied by 5, which equals 80, and 6 multiplied by 10, which equals 160. Now, from there, if we look here, just like when we're doing short division, we start by taking the number inside our bus stop and dividing it by the number outside. So, 7 divided by 16, well, I can't do that, that wouldn't give me a whole number. So, we move on to 72 divided by 16. Now, if I have a look over at my KFC, I can see that 16 times by 5 equals 80, so I know 16 does not go into 72 5 times. However, I do know that 16 times by 2 equals 32, therefore 16 times 4, which is twice the amount, would be 64, as that is twice the amount of 32. So I know that 16 can go into 72 4 times. So what I do is here I write 72 and I subtract 64, as that is 16 times 4. Which gives me an answer of 8. Now, I need to remember above my bus stop to put in how many times I can get 16 into 72, which if you remember was 4. Now, the next step, we still have this 8 and we can't forget about that. So what I'm going to do is bring down our number here, our 4, next to 80, to give me 84. And now I must see how many times 16 goes into this value. I take a look at the key fact chart on the side again. I can see that 16 multiplied by 5 equals 80. So I know 16 goes into 84 5 times. Which leaves me with 4. Again, I must remember to record that 16 goes into 84 5 times. Finally, we repeat this step again with our 4 here and our 8, which we must bring down like so, giving me 48. I now need to see how many times 16 goes into 48. Well, if I look over to my KFC, I see that 16 times by 2 equals 32. And if I add on 16 to our 32, that gives me a total of 48. So I know that 16 goes into 48 3 times. And of course, 48 subtract 48 is 0, meaning I have no remainders. So finally, 7,248 divided by 16 gives me an answer of 453. We're going into this in more detail in the upcoming weeks. Thanks for now.
Good afternoon, Griffin families. Mrs. Quick here, and I'd like to talk to you about our English for this last half term of Year 5. We're going to be spending our time this half term consolidating all of the skills that we've learnt this year, ready for our start into Year 6. We'll be looking at things like word classes. Word classes come into four different classes. There are nouns, verbs, adverbs and adjectives. The children will consolidate their knowledge of these, and it would be really useful if every now and again just ask the children, what's a noun? What's an adjective? What's a verb? What's an adverb? And they should be able to tell you that a noun is a name of a place or a thing or a name. They should be able to tell you that a verb is an action word or a doing word. They should also be able to tell you that an adjective describes a noun and an adverb describes a verb. We'll also be looking at advancing action through dialogue again, which we've looked at before, and the children did really, really well with that. But we need to start looking at where we put our reported clause. When someone says something in a story, where can we put that bit that tells you who said it? It can be at the beginning, it can be in the middle, it can be at the end of a sentence. And we're going to be looking at that in more detail. It would be really, really useful if the children could look at books and have a look at dialogue, look at speech, and have a look themselves at where the reported clause actually comes in that sentence. So yeah, everything that we're going to be doing this half term is really, really aimed at having a really, really smooth transition into Year 6. Thank you. Hello, it's Mrs. Quick here again. Just going to talk to you now a little bit about our topic for this half term. We are continuing with Hola Mexico, and this half term we're going to be looking in particular at geographical language. We've been started to look at things like biomes, climate. These are all terms that the children need to learn in Year 5. We'll then be moving on to looking at the Chihuahuan Desert and comparing the wildlife and the plant life with that of the UK. What's different about it? Are they the same? These are things that we're going to be looking at. Also this half term, we're lucky enough to have our Griffin Arts Festival. The theme this year is Change Makers, and we have chosen our Change Maker theme is going to be John Lennon. He was obviously really famous for holding protests for things that he believed in. We're going to be studying him, and we're going to be doing some portraits of John Lennon, and we're going to be doing those in styles of different artists. It would be great if the children could look at different artists just to see how artists' styles vary. We're also going to write a version of Imagine, which is quite possibly one of John Lennon's most famous songs, and we're going to rewrite it for the 21st century. What can the children imagine? What kind of world would they like? We're going to put that into our own poem, song, however the children want to express themselves. To help with this, it would be really, really useful if the children could do a little bit of research about John Lennon. Who was he? What can they tell us about the man? What was he famous for? What things did he believe in? That would be incredibly useful. Thank you very much.